business meeting of the Eastpointe City Council on Monday, November the 13th at 8 p.m. We have the oath of office to be administered by our city clerk, Randy Altimus, and so he would need to give that oath of office to Cardi DeMonico as elect councilman, as well as Michael Kleinfeld and Councilwoman-elect Monique Owens. So if all three of you would go down. We can do it individually, one at a time, but
Yeah, it'd be a little hard to do it simultaneously, but
Yeah.
However you want to do it. You want to do first.
I think it's done by name, it's done by,
by last
it's
name.
done alphabetically. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, from the mayor. The mayor should be in the background.
You might want to do it over there because you have the microphone then. You want my mic?
I was gonna use the little.
They're better off over there.
They never allowed me to do this before, so. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Cardi DeMonico Jr.,
I, Cardi DeMonico Jr.,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Charter and ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Eastpointe,
of the City of Eastpointe,
and to endeavor to secure
and to endeavor to secure
and maintain an honest
and maintain an honest,
and efficient administration
efficient administration
of the affairs of the City of Eastpointe,
of the affairs of the City of Eastpointe,
free from partisan distinction
free from partisan distinction
or control,
or control,
and to perform the duties
and to perform the duties
of councilman
of councilman
for the City of Eastpointe
for the City of Eastpointe
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got this
I'm
in
gonna
here,
need
right?
you to sign those.
Okay. So you're gonna do these so that when her daughters come up, they can get pictures. Well, and they're gonna stand there while she's being sworn.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
All right. It's up to Mike. Do you want us? Okay, go ahead.
Is this a black?
Yes.
I, Michael D. Kleinfeld,
I, Michael D. Kleinfeld,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the
Charter and ordinances
of the City of Eastpointe,
of the City of Eastpointe,
and to endeavor to secure
and to endeavor to secure
and maintain an honest
and maintain an honest
and efficient administration
and efficient administration
of the affairs of the City of Eastpointe,
of the affairs of the City of Eastpointe,
free from partisan distinction
free from partisan distinction
or control,
or control,
and to perform the duties
and to perform the duties
of councilwoman
of councilwoman
for the City of Eastpointe,
for the City of Eastpointe,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Did you bring your counsel? You can look on with mine. Please call the roll.
After all that, Councilmember DeMonico,
Here.
Councilmember Lucido,
Here.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Here.
Councilmember Owens,
Here.
Mayor Pixley.
Here. With that, we'll move on to the hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard at this time? Does anyone wish to be heard? Mrs. Kleinfeld.
Thank you. You could see the mom coming out of me there. I apologize. I just want to congratulate Monique, and I look forward to working with you, and I'm very happy to see you up there, and I think you're going to do a great job. And welcome back to the rest of the other council members that were elected, and I look forward to working with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else?
I'm Monique's pastor, and I just want to say we'll try to be more faithful to pray for you guys in the days ahead, because you have a lot of challenges, and you've served the public, and it's just neat to see. I brought my 15-year-old daughter, and just to see this is real. This is what makes America great. So I know we look forward to the great things you're going to do for Eastpointe, because you all are just public servants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else? All right, with that, the hearing of the public is closed. This meeting, we have no further approval of minutes or hearings or business or reports from administration. So we'll just move on to our new business, and the first item is the election by ballot of the mayor pro tem in accordance with Section 7, Chapter 3 of the city charter. And currently that position is held by Mayor Pro Tem Michael Kleinfeld. So if you have a piece of paper, you can write the name of the person that you'd like for the Mayor Pro Tem. It says ballot.
Is this how we did it last year? I
No.
don't recall this.
No,
That's what I was going to say. I think we just made a motion
we
last time.
just made a motion.
But
Does the charter say it's supposed to be by ballot? Is that why we're,
I think that does.
okay.
I think it's a bit unusual.
Yeah. If you read all of them, then I guess it would be. You
So
can't-
just slide it on down to Mr. Marucci. Thank you.
Works for me.
I have three. Is that the fourth one?
Mm-hmm. And there's one more after.
I understand. Perfect. One vote for Councilmember Kleinfeld, a second vote for Councilmember Kleinfeld, a third vote for Councilmember Kleinfeld, a fourth vote for Councilmember Kleinfeld, And a fifth vote for Councilmember Kleinfeld, so it's unanimous, 5-0.
So Councilman Kleinfeld is Mayor Pro Tem Michael Kleinfeld.
Thank you.
The second item is the appointment by a city council of city representatives and an alternate to the Southeast Macomb Sanitary District and the South Macomb Disposal Authority. Currently, I am the delegate to that group, to the representative from the city, and Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Kleinfeld is the alternate to that meeting.
I'd like to keep it that way just because of how much is going on over there right now. If anyone would.
I agree. I motion to keep it the same.
You keep it. I'm motioning it.
Was it a motion and a second?
I wasn't making the
Okay.
motion.
Okay, so we have a motion
I'll
by,
motion to keep Suzanne Pixley as representative and Michael Kleinfeld as alternative to the Southeast Macomb Sanitary District, South Macomb Disposal Authority.
And we would need support.
Support that.
All
I
right.
support it.
And then, can you call the roll, please, on that?
Yes, ma'am. Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes. And the third item is the designation by City Council of the Michigan Municipal League Legislative Coordinator. And currently, that's Mayor Pro Tem Kleinfeld. But Mr. Duchesne had been doing a lot of that because he got a lot of the information off of the ICMA sheet.
Yes.
But I think that still you are in a good position to do that.
I could, unless anyone else has a strong interest in it, I'm fine with having that position, so.
Because there are a lot of things that we need to get through that legislation.
So he's got a lot of work, you're saying?
Sounds like it, yeah.
Thanks for signing up.
All right, do we need to vote on that?
I'd say vote again, because these are all new terms of office for most of you.
I'll motion to appoint Councilman Kleinfeld as the Michigan Municipal League Legislative Coordinator.
I would support that. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Item D is the designation by City Council to SEMCOG, or the Southeast Michigan Council of Government, as a representative and as alternate. And I would like to still remain as the representative on that because I serve on the executive committee, which represents Michigan or Macomb County cities. And that term doesn't expire until July 1.
Okay, and do we need to do an alternate for this? Was it Steve before?
No, it was you.
Oh, okay.
So, but Monique has expressed an interest to do that.
Okay. Should we do it together, one motion then?
Yes, please.
I will make a motion to designate the government representative, Mayor Pixley, and alternate Monique Owens of the Southeast Michigan Council of Government.
Support.
Who's support? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Item E is the appointment by City Council of the voting member to the Library Commission, and currently that's Councilwoman Lucido, but she's also on the Planning Commission, and Mrs. Owens has expressed an interest to be on that.
Okay.
I will make a motion to appoint the City Council voting member of the Library Commission to be Monique Owens.
Support.
Move and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens.
Yes.
So the following the following four are designation by the mayor of council liaisons to various boards and commissions. And although we briefly talked about it at the last meeting, I didn't hear from Mr. DeMonico, so my assumption is you wanted to stay on beautification and continue working on that.
Yeah, I'd like to stick with beautification.
So I would like to designate Councilman DeMonico to the Beautification Commission, as well as on the DDA.
Unless You interested in the DDA, Ms. Owens? Otherwise,
She already has two.
I know you've got a lot. I didn't, don't want to sign you up for too much, but if you're interested, otherwise I'll stick with DDA too.
Well, whatever you do, I support you. I'm gonna help, I'm gonna help you with it, so go ahead and take it, and I'll do my best to help you with that. So,
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, yeah, I'll stick with DDA, Mayor Pixley.
okay.
Okay, so if council would like to approve those two appointments,
I'll make a motion to approve Cardi DeMonico being appointed to the Beautification Committee, or Commission, as liaison in the Downtown Development Authority.
Support?
move and support it. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes. And Mr. Kleinfeld did indicate that he would like to continue serving on the Eastpointe Housing Authority.
Yes.
So can we have a motion to that effect?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to appoint Councilman Mike Kleinfeld as the liaison to the Eastpointe Housing Authority.
Support.
Move and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes. And item 4 is the appointment to the Planning Commission, and currently it's Councilwoman Lucido, but she's only been on for 3 or 4 months
Yep.
now. She replaced John Marion on the Planning Commission. So I would like to appoint her back to the Planning Commission.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to confirm Councilwoman Lucido's appointment to the Planning Commission.
Do we have support?
Support.
All right, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Owens,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido.
Yes.
And of course, we have no payroll and bills because we just paid them all. So we'll go back to the second hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard at this time? Does anyone wish to be heard? All right, seeing none, second hearing in the public is closed. We move to mayor and council reports. And let's start with our brand-new council appointment.
Well, I need a copy of the sheet in front of me.
This is just your chance to say what you'd like to say.
Okay, as far as the election goes, first of all, I want to thank everybody that took time out to come out and celebrate this important day for all the council people, and especially for me. I didn't want to do nothing, a long drawn-out speech, but, you only get a chance once in a lifetime. And so growing up in Detroit, we used to come to Eastpointe. My grandmother used to take us to the Hostess Bakery. People remember Eastpointe had the Hostess Bakery right there on Kelly, you remember? And she would take us there when we were little. So coming to Eastpointe was like a treat for us, you know what I'm saying? You seen people just happy here, It was a town, and it was a place where I wish I could have grown up as a child. And so when we would leave and go back home, I would feel sad because I would say, that's where I want to live, And so for me to not only live here now as an adult, but to be city councilwoman of a city that I couldn't live in as a 9-year-old child. Now my children can at 9 years old. Is very powerful to me. It lets me know that, you can do and be and work anywhere you want to be. There's no limits when you have God, and as a child, it felt like it was limited. 8 Mile was like that was the limit. It wasn't no further than that. And so being able to sit here in front of my children, in front of you all, to be able to sit here, it's very powerful. It speaks volumes, and I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for the people who supported me, the people who walked and did the phone calls, my daughters who helped me get the petitions and asking people, you know, where they register voters, and they looking at these 9-year-old kids like, what are you talking about? And for the voters that voted for me and the people that believed in me, for my 4th grade teacher believing in me, for my sisters, for, you know, people who wanted change. You know, I just thank everybody who, you know, encouraged me, not only in this election, in the election before I ran, because I ran before, and that gave me the power to know that I can do it again, you know. Thank you for, you know, just coming out. I thank you for the people, the council who sit next to me now, for encouraging me with a lot of encouraging words and help, you know. A lot of people see what goes in front, but they don't see behind the scenes. So I want to personally say thank you. Thank you. And so,
And Mr. DeMonico.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. Congratulations, Councilwoman Owens.
thank you.
Look forward to sitting right next to you here at the council table. And then also have to thank my wife, Alyssa, for all her help with everything. I wouldn't be able to do all this without her. And not only did I take the oath of office today, but today's exactly 7 years from when I first had met Alyssa, exactly today. So that's a cool coincidence. And yeah, thank you for everything, Alyssa, and appreciate it. And yeah, thank you for everyone to come out. There's quite a crowd here in the audience. Good to see that everyone's supporting everyone at the table here. I know everyone takes a lot of time out of their day to be on city council, so thank you for supporting everyone else here at the table. Thanks for coming out, and yeah, look forward to it.
Thank you. Mr. Kleinfeld.
You don't all have to applaud for me. It's okay. Thank you to my family and friends that helped out with my election too. My family is no longer here. I do have a friend, Dante, in the audience who helped. I appreciate it. Thank you. He also helped plant trees. So he comes up here sometimes to do some work for us. Congratulations, Cardi, on your reelection. And welcome, Councilwoman Owens.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with you. And it was a well-deserved win. You deserve to be up here in this seat. I do want to say thank you to all the people who ran in the election, because everyone ran a really hard and clean campaign. This was a year when we saw everybody out knocking doors, walking neighborhoods, and it was impressive. And I think every election should be like that. So I think everyone deserves some credit for their efforts this past campaign season. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, they probably won't clap for you.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone that came out and voted. It wasn't, the turnout was actually slightly better than the last local election, so that's good. I think that definitely was a result of the hard work, like Mike said, of the candidates that ran. They really went out there, they really campaigned really, really hard for this past election. I also would like to congratulate Ms. Owens on her victory. I am very excited to work with you. And congratulations to Mike and Cardi for their reelection. And I think that'll be it for this evening.
All right. I'd like to congratulate all of you that won the election. And I would really like to congratulate all of you for getting out there and working very, very hard, walking the streets and talking to people, because I think that's only the way that you hear exactly what people want to see in the way of changes and supporting of the local city, as well as the other people that ran for election. I think there was a lot of positive feedback from every single candidate. There was not one single negative word out there, and that's what you want to see in a local government. Yeah, I think I'd like to see that in any type of campaign, that it's honest and very straightforward and that you get to meet the people that you're going to be representing. So I want to thank all of you, and I'm really excited about working with you. I think it's a big adventure that you're about to take.
I'm
And,
ready.
I know you're ready. Mr. Marucci and I met with Monique this morning, and one of the things that she was telling us is that she started off as a high school student. This is one of her big things, is that she wants to involve high school students involved in the political scene and get to see how city government works. And she was telling me that you were 12 years old?
No, I was 16 years old, and I worked for the city of Detroit.
As a high school
As a high school
student.
student.
And continued to work for the city of Detroit and helped her get through college and all. So that's the type of thing that we like to see so much in local government, and then progress up. And you will progress. So I have nothing else to say at this point. We do have some cookies and everything out there, but we need to go into a closed session. So if it's all right with you, Mr. Albright, we'll take like 15 minutes. So I need a motion to go into closed session, and let's say at 8:45.
Sure. All right, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to go into closed session for attorney-client privilege communication pending litigation with the Department of Justice at 8:45.
Support.
All right, and there's one other item as well for the privileged communication. Do we have to state both of them?
Yeah, that's just a general. We can just use item A. That's fine,
Okay,
because it's related.
Okay.
all right. So can we have support for that motion?
We already have.
And please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Owens?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
All right. Eastpointe City Council on Monday, November the 13th at 7 p.m. Please rise for the invocation given by Councilman Lucido. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear God, we are humbled by the many gifts you have given us. Please guide us as we utilize our talents and treasures for the betterment of all. We ask that you bless the council and its new member joining tonight as we work together to make decisions that benefit our Eastpointe residents. It is in your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Here.
Councilmember Lucido?
Here.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Here.
Mayor Pixley?
Here. Our second item is the approval of the agenda. Did anyone want to add something else? Then I'll entertain.
I think there was one item that we were going to table, though.
Each.
Well, I think we have,
Or G.
I think
The
we have
dis-
to do that when we get to it, don't we?
We can do that when we get there.
Why, we can't just take it off the agenda now? All right, that's
But there's
fine.
nothing to be added.
Okay.
Nothing to be added.
Nothing to be
All
added
right.
then, Mayor Pixley.
All right, thank you. We'll move then to the hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard? Mr. Hogan?
I'm Dan Hogan, and I'm Lambrecht Avenue. I've been here 33 years. I know kind of most of you. I'm directing a play this year, December 9th, yes, at the high school. We're doing It's a Wonderful Life, the radio show. I just wanted you all to know that. It's at 7 o'clock, December 9th, and we're cast already. We're doing, we're in rehearsal right now, and really like for everyone in the city to come and see it. Everything's going to pace. It's a very diverse cast. It's going to be an excellent show, so please come and see it. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else? Sir? Please come forward and state your name.
My name is Wayne Winters.
Speak into the microphone.
My name is Wayne Winters. I've lived in this city for 71 years. I've owned my home for 46 years, and now they're building a flop house for dope addicts on my street. Now, I come here last council meeting, and they took my name and my phone number and said that someone would contact me. That was a lie. No one contacted me. Heard nothing. The slumlords are taking over our neighborhoods. It's just a fact. And something has to be done, because once the dope addicts come in, you know who's coming next, and that's the pushers. And they're going to be selling drugs and everything else in our neighborhoods. Now, I read all the propaganda in the newspaper about everybody wants to get elected, they're going to take care of our neighborhoods, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. I don't believe it. I haven't seen it, I don't see it, and I wasn't contacted. The chief of police in Warren made a statement that the residents deserve to have drug-free neighborhoods. Now, that's not the way Eastpointe works. I've been here a long time. I graduated East Detroit High School. All of my kids went to East Detroit High School. I had a granddaughter graduate high school, and this city is just going to the dogs. No one's doing anything to help the neighborhoods. No one. The people drive by in the little white cars 2 or 3 miles an hour. They don't get out. They don't do nothing. That's just the way it is in the city. And something needs to be done.
So I'm sorry you didn't get called, but can you be sure and leave
Oh, I'm going to leave my name and number again, right?
with Linda, and we will get it to all of our council people, and we will follow up on it before.
That's
the
what you
next-
told me last month.
Well, I was sure that somebody would have, so we'll try that again.
Okay, we'll see.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to be heard? Anyone else wish to be heard? All right. The first hearing in the public is closed. Move on to approval of the minutes. And we have 3 meetings. The first one is the show cause meeting of October the 3rd, 2017. Can we get a motion, please?
Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the show cause meeting minutes of October 3rd, 2017.
Support.
Move with support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. The second one is the regular meeting of October the 17th. Can we get a motion to that?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of October 17th, 2017.
Support?
Move with support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. And item C is the special meeting of November the 9th. Can we get a motion to that effect, please?
Sure, one more time. Madam Mayor, I'll motion to approve the special meeting minutes of November 9th, 2017.
Support?
Move and support, please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
We have no scheduled hearings, but we have several items under unfinished business. The first being the Planning Commission recommendation for the special land use for a drive-through restaurant window. Can we get a motion to that effect, please?
Madam Mayor, I motion to deny the special land use for a drive-through restaurant window at 19,000 9 Mile Road.
I'll support, and I think we might have someone here to speak about that.
Please, sir, if you'd like to come forward.
Good evening. My name is Kevin Denha. My address is 40700 Woodward Avenue, Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. I want to talk a little bit about, well, I've already heard a denial, but in reading through the Planning Commission recommendation minutes, there was a lot of discussion about traffic, congestion, and amongst other things, but on a high level, those items. I mean, needless to say, we know this is 9 Mile and I-94. And, you know, obviously, in my opinion, whether it's a drive-through or a standalone building, there's going to be traffic on 9 Mile and 94 for now and a whole lot longer after we're gone. I guess I'd just like to understand more. I don't know if this is the venue or, you know, I had my project manager at the Planning Commission meeting where I was not present, but in reading through this and going through the renderings that I'm sure you guys have received and reviewed, you know, I'd just like to understand more from this body, more than just traffic congestion. What is the denial for? I mean, we have 9 Mile and Kelly's a former bank, although it's a little farther away than 94 to call it what it is. You have other drive-throughs in the neighborhood. Simply put, this project does not work for a drive-through, without a drive-through. And that's not posturing, that's economic reality. You get more rent out of a drive-through. You know, it's an old bank. The renderings I put together are top-notch. So I'd just like to hear a little bit more feedback and understand more than traffic and congestion, what it is.
Well, sir, this is not the place to do that. The place would have been for you to come to the Planning Commission. So at this point, we have the recommendation from the Planning Commission to deny it. So we have made the motion to put it on table for discussion, but the council has still not voted. So it's up to council to decide further if they want to make any changes.
Madam Mayor, may I say something, please?
Yes.
In talking to Mary Van Haren multiple times, she had made it crystal clear to me that, you know, I could speak on this behalf in regards to this matter. Obviously, she did not make any, you know, feedback on what you guys would render, but she made it crystal clear I would have an opportunity to speak like I am, but also discuss it further with this body. If I'm incorrect, then I was given bad information.
Does anyone have any further? Did you have further questions? This has been tabled from a previous meeting.
Right, and I didn't, actually, my first question was I didn't know that if we had any follow-up, because I know we tabled it, but I didn't know that we were contacted back by you, sir. Sorry about that. But sure, I'd be happy to talk about the drive-through area at this corner. I think my main concern is that because the traffic is already crazy enough at that corner, people, I know, turn into the speedway across the street, and you really how the left lane there is set up, you shouldn't. But if you're coming from St. Clair Shores trying to get into that property and we're going to have cars, you know, stacked for a drive-through, it's just going to be quite a logistical issue at that corner. That was my main concern. I don't know the rest of council's concern was, but that was my main concern.
I do have one question, because I saw in here, and I don't know if it was ever answered. What were the hours of operation that were going to be for the?
Well, as of now, there's no tenants that I have concrete, so I can't answer that definitively. This is a 3-tenant building. I do these projects all throughout Metro Detroit, and I don't have any tenants yet. I'm very confident I will, so I can't answer that definitively. Whether it be a standard operation or 24 hours, I don't know.
I thought a second ago you just said you had great tenants lined up.
No, I said I can have tenants lined up. I have nothing concrete. I have a host of tenants I work with, but I don't have anything to show them right now because I have no delivery dates, et cetera. So yes, I do have a tenant roster, but nothing definitive with this site plan.
Sir, I'm looking at the denial from the police department related to traffic congestion, as well as from the engineer related to the vacating of the alley. So that was my reasoning for it. I don't think there's any problem with you purchasing and using the building. I think the problem was with the drive-in.
You know, I already own the building, so, you know, that, I'm not worried about that with respect to that, Madam Mayor. But whether it's a drive-through or not, there's going to be traffic on 9 and 94. There's no solving that. And obviously for retail, that's a good problem. But obviously, every site I do is unique. You give and take for safety, but, you know, it was a drive-through before. It was a bank before. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Actually, I'm trying to make the neighborhood a lot better. Now, if there's screening issues, landscaping, we work through all that. That's easy stuff. But to hinge it on traffic, it's a drive-through before, there's drive-throughs in the city, it's 9 and 94.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to just point out to the applicable standard that the council is to follow in considering this request, and it's found in section 50-49 D. It says, or it provides that the city council shall review and make a final determination on the application. Prior to approving any application for a special land use approval, the city council shall find adequate evidence that the proposed use, and it sets forth 8 criteria. And those are also set forth in the planner's report and review dated August 29, 2017. But just to recap, number 1, it will be harmonious with, in accordance with the general objectives of the master land use plan. Number 2, will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained in harmony with the existing and intended character of the general area, and so that the use will not change the essential character of that area. 3, will not be hazardous or disturbing to existing or future neighboring uses. 4, will represent an improvement to property in the immediate vicinity and to the community as a whole. 5, will be served adequately by essential public services and facilities such as highways, streets, drainage structures, sewer and water infrastructure, police and fire protection, and refuse disposal, or that persons or agencies responsible for the establishment of the proposed use shall be able to provide adequately for such services. 6, will not create excessive additional requirements at public cost for public facilities and services and will not be detrimental to the economic welfare of the community. 8, will not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, equipment, and conditions of operation that will be detrimental to any person or property or to the general welfare by reason of excessive smoke, fumes, glare, noise, vibration, or odors. And 8, will be consistent with the intent and purposes of this chapter. And all of those criteria are set forth again in the planner's review, but those are the criteria that the council is to consider in making a determination on this particular request. I just wanted the record to reflect that. And again, that is section 50-49.
And I believe Mr. Elliott documented all of that in his report.
Yes, he did.
So, council, any further questions?
I guess, well, this would be a question for McKenna. The hours of operation go through when the traffic is highest. They specify that that's an issue. I understand that you don't think traffic's an issue, or that there'll be too much congestion in that area. I think it could cause it, mainly because of the cars that could pile up eastbound that have to turn left. So, which I think is what you were saying, Mr. DeMonico.
Westbound,
What? Yeah.
So.
westbound cars.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, westbound.
Westbound.
That was my concern. And it, it was outlined by McKenna's concerns. I agreed with it, so I'm inclined to agree with the Planning Commission on this one.
Ms. Lucido, did you have anything to add?
No, I do not have anything to add, because I was at the Planning Commission meeting, and I agreed with the Planning Commission there, so.
Mr. DeMonico, did you have more questions?
No, or was the hours question about the drive-through?
The hours are there in the planner's report.
Oh, it is the.
That
Well,
was
no,
just
he's-
the planner's recommendation, I think, for hours.
Right, yeah. So, sir, were your hours going to be within 6:30 a.m. and 10 p.m. for the drive-through?
I can't answer that because I don't have tenants lined up. But I can't represent that to you.
Okay.
But I guess, from what I'm hearing, it's pretty obvious, but any retail use under the guidelines of Eastpointe, obviously, will be able to go in there. There's gonna be traffic there, irrespective. So, drive-through stacking, that's manageable through engineering, but it's unfortunate because it was a nice building I was gonna build there. or reconstruct. But to be quite honest with you, I don't know, it's going to be a status quo for a while. And that's not posturing, guys. Anybody who knows me, I do work in a lot of cities. I'm open book. But traffic, I get it, life safety, I get all that. I do this for a living. We're not reinventing the wheel there. It's, people come to 9 Mile 94 because of the traffic, because of the visibility, and because of the dual access. So I just wanted to finish with that. It's unfortunate.
Anything further?
No.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes. Sir, that does not mean, that means that you can come back with a different design.
It's irrelevant with the drive-through. It doesn't seem like this body is going to approve a drive-through. And I appreciate that, Madam Mayor, but I'm just being fully transparent.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Thank you.
The next item is the second reading and the adoption of ordinance 1145, is the adoption of an international property maintenance code.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to give second reading to and adopt ordinance 1145, which amends Chapter 10, Buildings and Buildings Regulations, Article 4, Property Maintenance Code.
Support.
With support, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico.
Yes.
Item C is the discussion on the DPW positions. Mr. Kleinfeld, did you have anything more to add? This was your request.
There's not much to go forward with now. We do have to wait, I believe, until the Civil Service Board meets, which is on the 27th. I would appreciate if we can all get a copy of their agenda and what they're looking at. So if I can make it, maybe I'll go, but
I believe it's 5 p.m.
it's possible then. So if we can get those materials, just so we can see
I
what's
think
happening.
the agenda was in your last packet.
Yeah, we'll,
I can check to see.
no, either way, we have to get a new agenda because it has to have the correct date and time for public purposes. So we'll make the same, if it's just an agenda, we'll get you just the agenda. I believe you got everything, but either way, you'll get the information.
Yeah, I would like the materials with it too,
Absolutely.
just to see what the discussion's even gonna be, so. And I guess that's all for now.
This was just a discussion item, so.
Yeah.
All right, and item D is stipend for Randy Altemus as the acting city manager from August the 5th through October the 3rd of 2017. Can we get a motion to that effect?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to provide a stipend in the amount of $325.92 to Assistant City Manager Randy Altemus, which is 93.8% of our previous city manager's salary for the period August 5, 2017 through October 3, 2017.
And do we have support?
Support.
I did want to talk about this a little bit. The way we did the percentages and calculated things seemed a bit odd to me. I don't know if that's how you typically look at salaries. I know that you provided it to us.
Yeah.
So,
It was what we paid last time, right?
That's what we paid him last.
For interim manager. Oh, yeah.
well, oh, I
It-
don't,
it-
As
Well,
a
it was
percentage.
just a comparative of what we did in 2010. So it was the amount paid compared to the previous city manager's rate at that time. I
Right.
provided it as both a differential and as a percentage of the city manager's salary at that time. This group decided to go with a percentage basis for Mr. Marucci, so I just provided the same percentage for Mr. Altemus.
personally, I think that's a little low for the amount of work that he put in.
97 cents an hour.
Last time we did a $10,000 stipend over the year. And I took a look at what that would cost. I'd rather go with that than another percentage. When Randy was acting city manager, there was no assistant city manager either. And it was before elections as well when we were getting new machines. So I would like to amend the amount. I had a couple of numbers in front of me. 8 weeks, it was just over 8 weeks, 8 weeks, a couple days, but 8 weeks would be about $1,538. And I would rather go with that as a stipend.
All right. I'll amend my motion to $1,538.
Support?
Been moved and supported to, with an amended motion. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley,
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld.
Yes.
We'll move on to reports from administration. We'll start with our acting city manager, Mr. Marucci.
Mayor and council and members of the public, several items to report on. The first one is that the closing date for laborers occurred last Friday for the 3 positions at the DPW. And we have approximately 29 applications. And I just say approximately because we're still sorting through to make sure that people turned in everything. But at least 29 people have submitted a resume or an application, and hopefully all the backup documentation is there. So we will be testing, I believe it's December 1st. We'll be performing the written test, which is a Friday. We'll probably be using this room for that. And so that's the next step. That's, I guess, part of what Councilmember Kleinfeld in terms of DPW. It wasn't just the director's position, but I know you and the other members of council were concerned about how are we filling the positions and at what speed. So we had a last-minute flurry, because as of early Friday, we had 20. And apparently almost 50% more came in later on that day and in the drop box. So be aware of that. Secondly, today we had the promotion, the swearing in of a new police officer and the promotion swearing in of one of the police officers promoted to sergeant. So that was pretty exciting. Both of them had their families here, and it really is. It's fun to see people either start their career or get a promotion.
Who was the sergeant?
And I'm sorry, I came in a little bit late. Director McNeilans, who was the sergeant?
Chris Rohde.
Okay, 9.5-year employee, I believe.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Chris Rohde.
Christopher Rohde.
Yeah, 9.5 years. So he was here, and I believe 3 daughters were here along with his wife and his father. And the other officer it's only he and his wife. This is his first, John, it's his first full-time police officer position. Would you say he was been in law enforcement or private security prior to that? So that was exciting. And I believe it's tomorrow we'll have the swearing in of our new firefighter as well. That will happen. So he'll be starting also. So that's good news. And the last thing is probably the one item that many people were aware of, but on October 28th, approximately 2 weeks ago, about 35 volunteers showed up on Kelly Road south of 9 Mile. And the group included residents and non-residents. It included kids from the high school, included elected officials, included city employees, included people from Relief, who we partnered with in terms of the purchasing, and a group called, it's either the Urban Foresters of Detroit or the Detroit Urban Foresters. I can't recall their name. But they were the group. If those of you who were in attendance, if you saw John Lennon in attendance, he's part of the group. He didn't help plant any trees because he wasn't dressed appropriately, but it really was stark to see John Lennon appear on Kelly Road. But we planted 33 trees that day. And I'm telling you, J.J. Mish was also part of it, so was American Lawn and Garden, and I'm trying to think of if there was another group that was.
Evergreen.
English Gardens as well, English Gardens as well. They brought the topsoil, they brought the mulch out to the site. And it couldn't have been done, and really the one person or one group that wasn't there that, believe me, if it wasn't for them, and that was the city of St. Clair Shores, because they loaned us the auger. And my God, for those of us who were digging, it was like digging through concrete. It was astounding what Kelly Road, I don't know how anything grows on Kelly Road. It's just, it's mind-boggling. That was as hard as concrete. And if it wasn't for the auger, we couldn't have planted any trees. So we planted 30 trees that day on Kelly Road and 3 in front of private people's homes. And at least 2 out of the 3 of the homes that we planted at, the people also came to plant trees with us. Because I told them, I said, it's not an official rule, but we really would like to have you, since you're getting a tree in front of your house, please come. And I met the 2 out of the 3. The third one, if I met them, I forgot. But we plan on doing this again, hopefully in the fall. And so we'll be needing more volunteers. And it'll be a little bit, this wasn't badly coordinated. It was just difficult because it was the first time we did it, and our pool of volunteers came from all. I had volunteers from as far as Clinton Township said they wanted to do something, and I actually had a husband and wife who I believe lived in town, said we had so much fun. We're signing up today, which was I think Sunday after the planting, for next year.
Do you want to explain what grant this all comes under?
Right, it's under the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, and that's something that's being administered through the Macomb County Planning and a special program called Greening Macomb. So it's really focused for the communities which are south of the Clinton River, and I believe there's 13 is the number. And they look to plant approximately 2,000 trees. The first planting was spring of this year, the second planting was fall of this year, and the third planting will be spring of next year. That's phase one of the grant. The hope is that we have put in for phase two of the grant in order to get an allocation. And the allocation was done basically on area and population of the community. So we received 33 trees. I think Centerline got something like 12 or 13. Sterling Heights was in the 150 range. So that's how the number became allocated. So
If you want to see an outstanding reforestation, go to Sterling Heights. We were at the meeting this last week to discuss how the project is going to be extended into next year, and look around at the reforestation that's gone on around the side of Sterling Heights that they're building over by the library. It's very outstanding. It looks really good. So we're going to really push for comprehensive reforestation next year.
And that's all I have. So for those of you who are there watching, those of you in attendance who assisted, thank you for coming out, and hopefully we can count on you again next year to do the same thing. So thank you.
Any questions for?
Do you have plans to reach out to the school board to see if they want to do a joint meeting anytime soon?
Yes, the mayor and I talked about that last week, and we were going to reach out to them and find out. We waited purposely for tonight to occur, the swearing in, and then we will reach out. I will reach out this week.
So my suggestion was to wait till January, because January is school board month, and it would be really good to invite them to come over like we did last time and have a joint meeting, if that's all right with you.
January's good?
Sounds good to
Then
me,
that's what
yeah.
we'll plan for.
Yeah.
On a Tuesday? Okay. So yes.
We'll
Open on
wait.
that.
We'll wait and see what Ms.
Yeah.
Insolence, what her schedule's like. But yeah, that sounds good. January to me. So.
And then I just had one item about the going out to bid. Mr. Lubeck had come to the hearing of the public before. Can we get more information on that? I think the information was being put together. Can we just
In terms of the whole bidding.
speed it up a little?
Okay. Well, we had the election. which, yeah,
Sure.
and the assistant manager is also the deputy clerk, is also the purchasing.
I know,
clerk. Yes,
I
I
know.
know. I know you know, and I think even Mr. Lubeck knows that as well, so. We will.
Okay, let's move on to our finance director.
Yes, Madam Mayor and Council. Only thing I had to report was the draft audit report showed up a couple hours ago. Mr. Marucci and myself will meet with Plant Moran on Wednesday to go through the report, and then we will finish up all of the additional schedules that need to be put together to complete the CAFR. At the same time, early this morning, I got the draft, and I say draft, actuary from the healthcare and the death benefit. There's some new GASB pronouncements that there's some growing pains for, so the auditors and the actuaries are duking it out over what format and this and that. So, but I would like to point out the healthcare is, and this won't change, but it's funded at 18.4%, which is phenomenal for something like that. The death benefit's ridiculous. It's 236% funded. So I wish our pension had that problem, but. Once they get finalized, I will get reports out to council, and we'll get them on the website.
What do you think an time estimate on that is?
We should have, the two parties that are discussing it, they should have it resolved here later this week, and I expect a final by early next week on the two actuary reports. The audit report will be December 5th. So
Well, we'll get it before.
you'll get it beforehand, right?
Like a week before would be good.
That would be nice. I'm not promising anything.
Okay.
All right,
Wait, one question before we move on. I mentioned in my weekly report a week or two ago, it always seems to be that the 6 o'clock audit report pushes the 7 o'clock back, the regular meeting. Do you want to, and you had already set the audit meeting for 6, do you want to keep it at 6 and just if we go longer, or do you want to start it earlier?
I'm fine with keeping it at 6. Last year it didn't, I don't think it pushed it back.
I think we've always done it on its own day before. Now that-
Yeah, we
have
usually finish it
recently,
in an
right.
hour.
So stick with 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Good enough.
All right, let's move on to our city attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I spoke with Ms. Van Haren last week, and city administration will not be requesting any show cause hearings until at least January, so I won't be making any request until that time. And the only other thing I had, Madam Mayor, is the council's in receipt of our monthly status report. I'm happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Anybody?
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go on to new business. We have several items under this. The first one is a proposal for professional services, and this relates to the water system asset management plan. Can we get a motion?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to engage the services of Anderson, Eckstein, and Westrick to prepare a written water system asset management plan for the city's water distribution system based on the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality's asset management guidance.
Support.
Who is support? Any further discussion on this? Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. Item B is the introduction and the first reading of ordinance number 1146, which is the amendment to Chapter 50 related to general standards, general parking requirements of the codified ordinances of the city of Eastpointe.
If I may, this was actually one of the reasons I wanted to wait on tabling at the beginning of the meeting. We have a lot of new business on here that's not urgent, and if I would like to table it for a couple of weeks, and then our new council person can be a part of that discussion for these things that aren't urgent, so.
I feel very strongly about that as well. Because there's 2 readings for it, so.
Yeah. With that, I will make a motion to table the introduction of ordinance 1146 until our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is the 19th, I think.
Do we want to table a couple of these
You would see too, right?
That-
at once?
Yes.
Or-
Oh, well,
Isn't it usually better to deal it individually?
I think because they're separate agenda items, it's probably
Okay.
proper to go.
That's fine.
Support.
All right, Rich agrees.
Moved and supported, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
The date is the 25th.
Item C is the introduction and the first reading of ordinance number 1147.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to table until our November 21st meeting, the introduction of ordinance 1147.
Support.
Moved and supported, please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Item D is the introduction and the first reading of 1148 related to rezoning of property located at 16435 8 Mile Road.
Now this one, will it hold up the sale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't. It's actually,
Table B.
so we are, I don't know if I missed that somewhere in here, then we are completely selling the whole lot also. And we're splitting the zoning between parking and OS1 office space. Okay. Assuming that's why Tony's in the audience today?
I would assume.
Yes.
Can we get a motion to that effect?
Madam Mayor,
Do you have questions for Mr. Lipinski?
oh, I did not at this point.
Okay. Do you want to make the motion then?
Sure. Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion to introduce and give first reading to ordinance number 1148, which would rezone property located at 16435 8 Mile Road, parcel number 14-31-459-001, lots 1 to 6 inclusive, also lots 23 to 28 inclusive, also Vac Boulder Ave, adjacent from 8 Mile Road to Stricker Avenue, north 75 feet from R1 residential single family to parking, and remainder of the property from R1 residential single family to OS-1 office services. And schedule the ordinance for second reading in consideration for adoption at the meeting on November 21, 2017.
Support.
Move with support.
So,
And OS1 includes nursery.
yeah, include daycare centers, yes. And then we'll have this on our agenda next time also, so, our new council person will also be here for the, second reading. And then my only other question was there a specific reason to split it, OS1 and P1? I have a guess, but I don't know. And I don't know if Tony, if he has anything to say, it'd be great to hear.
Part of it remains parking.
Right, I know what it means. I didn't know if there was like a particular,
Sure, that was actually at the recommendation of the planner at the planning commission meeting to provide a buffer for the residents, so that if any new entity came in and then decided to resell, that there's no building going back towards the north, towards the residents. So zoning it parking leaves it that way and provides that buffer for the residents.
that's what I thought you might say, because, it's right against the Stricker there.
Sure.
So, yeah, that sounds good to me. I didn't know if there was any other reason.
Okay.
Thank you.
Move to support it. Please call the roll, unless there's anything else. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Item E is the adoption of resolution number 1843 for the Macomb Law Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement.
Madam Mayor, I motion to adopt resolution number 1843, approving participation in the Macomb County Law Enforcement Mutual Aid Agreement.
Support.
Move to support it. Any further discussion? It's been in effect for several years now. Very effective. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. Item F, the delinquent special assessments and water bills. Can we get a motion?
Sure, Madam Mayor, I'll motion to authorize the finance director to place the following special assessments on the 2017 winter tax bills as follows. Unpaid weed bills totaling $133,648.20. Unpaid invoices related to debris removal, secured building pest control, abatement demolition, sewer repair totaling $130,200.32, and delinquent water/rubbish bills totaling $1,340,506.06 in accordance with the finance director's report dated November 13, 2017.
Support.
So I did have one question, Mr. Blum. How is it the city of Eastpointe is listed in several places and with our address?
They're ones that have been transferred, but it hadn't been updated when the report was run. So, yeah, we are not delinquent.
Okay. And then also with Habitat, I don't think the address that was listed is their regular address.
Maybe that's why they're not getting the bills. It could vary. We get a lot of return mail, so I'd have to check into that one.
All right, so move and support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. Item G is the adoption of Resolution 1844, establishing a policy to provide persons occupying properties purchased by the city of Eastpointe from Macomb County through tax reversion a right of first refusal.
I'm happy to table this one too. I do have a list of things I'd want to see added to turn this into a policy, but we could have a discussion with that once we have a full council if we want to.
So are you making the motion to table?
Yes, I will make a motion to table Resolution 1844 until our next meeting on the 21st.
Support?
Move and support it. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
And item H is the approval of the Munitrix contract. Do we have a motion?
This one I might want to discuss because I'm not sure how necessary it is when looking at the past numbers that we've been paying for.
Yeah, my first question was, Mr. Marucci, about, I saw there's one edition called Transparency Edition and one called Premium Edition. They use terms that I don't know what they mean. I don't know if there's anything we use internally. I've looked at the dashboard that's on our website. We have a link to it on the homepage, but it sounded like the regular edition suited our needs. I don't know if there was anything in the other edition.
The transparency is the one that meets the state of Michigan Department of Treasury transparency requirements. It files a report, and then people have easy access to find out that and so forth. With the premium edition, they have added in the last 2 years about 7 or 8 apps. We've used, I believe it's 2 or 3 of them. They have one for debt service. They have one for capital improvement plan. They have one for trust fund. They have one that just came out for head count of people. So those are, and there's 2 or 3 other ones that are in there as well. So we've used at least 2 of those, and I think perhaps 3. The debt service, the capital improvement, and I believe one of the other ones that we've utilized as well. So those are the ones that, the basic, the transparency, whatever, the one that meets the state requirements do not include that.
So, Mr. Blum, with this, the total cost is what, and what are we getting reimbursed by the state?
It might be better if I handle it.
Okay.
The proposed cost for next year is $6,200, and let me just go to the last page.
48 cents.
48 cents, right. The state, this is the first year the state is reimbursing local government units half of their transparency, their whatever you wish to call it, subscription. School districts have had that benefit for the last 2 years. So they were able to convince the Department of Treasury, I think one of the owners, I believe it's $500,000 has been allocated for this year. And remember, the state budget is 1 year only. That's why the provision in the proposed contract, if the state doesn't fund this next year through the annual appropriation process, we can back out of our 3-year agreement with proper 30-day notice.
So in the end, we're only, the cost to the city is $3,100.
Correct.
I just didn't want to pay for anything we're not using. I don't know if the a la carte, looks like you can just pick and choose some of these, but looks like you pick like 2 of them and you're already higher than the,
cost,
yeah.
Yeah, we have not, like I said, they've changed a little bit because they've got more clients and they also want to expand their services. Up until now, we've not used Budget Builder. We've used the peer group comparisons. I believe that's part of the basic. The dynamic dashboard, that is, again, that's the one, the link is to the website where the state says you have to have it, that information for people to access from their home.
Oh, wait, actually though, so you said the debt manager, yeah, but,
The debt manager,
or no, head count was one you said?
head count is brand new. Debt manager we've had for a while, and that's part of our transparency. We've not utilized the open checkbook. And that's something that we may want to get involved in, but that's where people can go online and look at the checks that we process bi-weekly.
Okay. Was it anything besides head count manager? I think that was the one.
We already have that bi-weekly, do we not, in our agenda?
You have that way, yes. This makes it a searchable database. That one, people would have to look at. If you have the open checkbook, someone can put in and say, have any checks of the Acme company been processed in the last year?
Oh.
So they can do a searchable, versus, let me print out the checklist for the last 12 months.
And they're not willing to, they're requiring 3-year contracts now, not year-to-year annual fees?
They prefer they want to go to the 3-year. But we have a chance to back out if the state does not come up with money in year 2 or year 3.
Isn't it only if they don't come up with like
That's
25% or something? It's
No,
not-
the 25% is something because we've been a loyal customer to them. In year 2, assuming the state funds it at 50%, they'll also give us back half of our 50%.
No, you're assuming they didn't give us the 50, they
No,
gave us
it-
25, I thought is
No,
what
the
it said.
25 is, even if we stay into year 2, I guess it goes regardless of whether or not the state funds it. If we stay in year 2, they will reimburse us 25% of the total or half of our half.
That should be 25%.
Oh, I thought it,
Yeah, I didn't read it that way, but.
Okay, I purposely checked with one of the partners just before I got here, and that was this way I had understood it, and the way he explained it as well. So you're looking at paragraph number 4.
Yeah, I read it as if the state does not reimburse us, then they will cut the price by up to 25% essentially.
Unreimbursed, the state does not, the state only reimburses 50%, so the unreimbursed part, according to him, is the 50% that we have to come up with. That's the unreimbursed.
no, but, well, they're just, I think it's saying though, if the state doesn't give the 50%, they'll just cut their price 25.
Right, next year.
So we'd still have a
I mean,
25.
he
Either way, it's not, well, the last time we did a subscription, it was 4,100, so if we get half, it's cheaper.
Yes, and if you get one quarter back, it's approximately the same.
Okay.
I think financially for us, it sounds good, but if I was the state, it seems like they just doubled their price after the state is now reimbursing 50%, I'd have to say, but.
I think that could be, well, I guess maybe a third up from 4122 is one way to look at it. 4122 became 6100.
Right. I mean, if
But
you
that's
look
a
just
third.
the year before, though.
And I agree,
Yeah.
down to 2,285.
So
It's even a little bit more than a double.
for us, it doesn't change, but.
No, it does not
really,
change.
it's a couple $100 or something difference.
Well, I guess I'm fine with approving it. We would just have to keep an eye on it to see if the state yanks their funding, because then you have that 30-day window.
The nice thing is the state for the last 4 or 5 or 6 years has adopted their budget. Brandy, is it June?
June, July usually,
Right,
yeah.
so we know in plenty of time, it's not one of these,
Oh, sure.
oh my God, we're within that 30-day window and the state hasn't adopted a budget. Governor Snyder has always made it a point that let's have a budget by June. So then they go on recess. So we'll know in plenty of time.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of discussion about this and the increase of it and so forth at various state meetings that we have coming up, so.
And do we have someone that then could, since we'll have all these other items, other modules, that could maybe check them out? Not immediately, but, as we come across possible things, some of these sound like they'd be pretty,
So Joe, are you going to
Interesting.
continue on and be the representative on the Munitrix since you did this before?
My guess, previously, it was Mr. Duchesne and myself.
Okay. All right. All right, so we have a motion? No, we don't have a motion on this yet.
Madam Mayor, I motion to approve the 3-year contract with Munitrix dated October 10th, 2017, for use of Munitrix.com, which is a comprehensive online suite of financial reporting, management, and forecasting tools designed specifically for the use by local governments and school districts.
Support.
Move to support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
yes.
Item 9 is payroll and bills.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve payment of the bills in the amount of $4,201,974.15.
Support?
Move to support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld?
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido?
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico?
Yes.
Mayor Pixley?
Yes. And that will move us into the second hearing of the public. Does anyone wish to be heard at this time? Anyone? Well, that was fast. Second hearing of the public is closed. Let's move on to mayor and council reports, and we'll start with Mr. DeMonico.
All right, thank you, Madam Mayor. It's been a while since we all met. I'm looking forward to continuing on the city council here for the next 4 years. I think we'll be doing some exciting things. And so, yeah, since last time the Rotary had their wine tasting and Lions had their Harvest Fest, if anyone was there, those are good events like usual. And then we also had, Mary is still here, the art show at the Patriot Building. Just want to say congratulations to Chris Riley, who took first. Second was John Hebert, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing these last names right. And Danielle Pomaville was third place. That was a great event. I hope we do that again next year. I was really excited to do that. Thank you, Mary Van Haren, for all of your work on that. Then we did the planting, as you said, Mr. Marucci. Won't go over that again, but 33 trees, that's a lot. And then we had the Adopt a Flower Bed ceremony after that. We can thank everyone for doing an Adopt a Flower Bed in Eastpointe, and I was actually surprised they gave me third place this year. I was not at all expecting that. I split a bed with Betty Bishop. She's on the Beautification Commission also, and we do one on Kelly about Topher. So we do have some empty beds, though, if anyone else is interested in adopting a flower bed. And then, hope everyone had a good Halloween.
Thank you.
Actually, I got a happy birthday, Dad. He's in the audience about a week ago. And Cassie, yours yesterday. Happy birthday to you guys. And Deck the Hall was great as usual. And thank you to all the veterans. We've had Veterans Day, of course. And had a breakfast at the Eastwood Oddfellows, and that was a nice thing to have. So a lot of stuff going on in the city. If anyone ever tells you there's not a lot, we just had Mr. Hogan come up to Hearing the Public too and talk about how we're doing a play for It's a Wonderful Life. All kinds of stuff going on in the city, and it's exciting. So that's all I had, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Mrs. Lucido.
I have a couple of library announcements to start out with. First of all, tomorrow, there will be trivia at the library with Sandy Baker. It begins at 6:30. Sign up if you want to play, or you can just go and watch. It's usually a lot of fun. And also on Thursday, they'll be hosting Battle of the Bulge presented by Stephen Morzak at Thursday, November 16th at 6:30 p.m. And just one more thing, I would like to send my deepest sympathies to the family of Matthew Eugene Quarry. You may, God, please let you have the peace that you seek. He passed away last week. And that will be it for this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Kleinfeld?
Well, Mr. DeMonico covered most of the events that's recently happened. I'll wait till the next council comments to wrap up what I want to say tonight.
All right, I was really sorry that I missed the tree planting and all those good things. I was invited to attend a mayor's conference in California, and it was on entrepreneurships. So it was very exciting. It was invitation only, and there were only 4 mayors from the state of Michigan that went. So I was very surprised, because I was with the mayor from Farmington Hills, the mayor from Lansing, Michigan, and the mayor of Rochester Hills. So I was surprised that Eastpointe would be represented, but it was a really good meeting. There was only one state out of the 50 that wasn't represented. So I brought back a lot of good ideas about entrepreneurship and so forth. So when I found out when Relief decided to do the tree planting, I was really upset, because I had worked so hard with Mr. Marucci to set it all up, but that's the way it goes. But there were lots of good ideas that came forward, and I'm anxious to share them with the new council, so we can go forward and do some things with some of the people that are interested in really working. I think we have a lot of people that are starting businesses, and I think along the way, something happens, and we need to really analyze some of that and help out the business people. So, and then I would just like to send some good cheer to Dave Michalski, who couldn't work on the day of the election because he ended up being admitted to the hospital the night before, and he wasn't at the library meeting today, obviously. But Dave has been a really good resident for a long, long time, so we have to cheer him on. He's still in the hospital after a week. And that would be it for now, and I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Support?
Move support. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Kleinfeld,
Yes.
Councilmember DeMonico,
Yes.
Councilmember Lucido,
Yes.
Mayor Pixley.
Yes.
58.
7:56. We have 3 minutes till the next meeting.